Once more, I can neither confirm or deny that 1, a skill tree spotlight update is coming at all, or 2, that Walter, Winona, and Willow will indeed be the next batch of 3. However, that shouldn't be what stops us from scratching that itch, especially when the topic is as hot as another Willow refresh, as it's been a while. But what does she offer us, everyone? Her unique lighter, Bernie, fire synergies, and temperature nonsense? Yeah, I think that's pretty much it, but that's also pretty laughable by today's rework standards, even if I do enjoy her nuanced simplicity. But just like the Walter video, let us actually refresh our own minds here, as what exactly do all her perks entail? Well, she spawns in and can craft additional lighters that will last a little over a day and can't be cooked on. She cooks in half the time needed for all other characters. Bernie enters the constant with her as well and can now be held to not only warm Willow up a tad, but provide a teensy tiny sanity regeneration. Bernie now also transforms into Bernie, come 15% sanity and below, but note that only one can exist at any time, so the others will simply serve as distractions for shadow creatures, while the big boy deals 50 damage to all that he hits, while also taking hits to his 2000 health himself. Surprisingly, Willow doesn't actually cool down faster than others, although she absolutely should. However, it is true that all winter clothing is actually less effective on her than others. Now we're talking 1 or 2 degrees of difference here, but over time that will sneak up on ya, and if it does, then you will suffer from the cold for real this time, as Willow not only loses health far faster than the rest, but sees her sanity drop on top of it. Flip the coin though, and Willow will heat up slower than the rest of the gang, of course, while also losing less health over time when and if she does begin to truly overheat. But to wrap things up quickly already, note that while she will still overheat, she is immune to fires and actually gains sanity from any and all flames. She refuels all fires 50% better overall with any fuel available. She can put an end to any smoldering object swiftly and with no damage taken. And finally, she loses 10% more sanity from all negative effects, but also gains 10% more from positive ones. A perk that I myself have absolutely zero recollection of her having, if I'm completely honest, and that's why we're here. As that's also kind of the thing about our orphan turned arson. She is so straightforward that only 1 perk eluded us, so in talking about her, the conversation only goes one of 2 ways. She either needs a complete overhaul because she sucks, or she's right where she needs to be and needs just slight buffs to pre-existing mechanics. And funny enough, the community itself continues to feed into this very conundrum perfectly to this day. Be it through actual discussions or literal revamps, we have a tame Willow tweak with her original infinite lighter returning and Bernie buffs here and there, to mods and suggestions that just turn her into the goddess of fire for Pete's sake. But the changes that caught my eye on more than one occasion are the ones we should all focus on today, as they are the catalyst of today's video. And they all come from Sox's Willow, the fire starter here. It's one we've covered before, which is why no gameplay will be shown, but what you read is what you get, so I don't even think we need it. You'll want Willow to do more fire stuff and gain slight synergies with it all? Cool, you got it. Want Bernie to remain Bernie while lasting just a bit longer, protecting Willow outside of being big like he did in the trailer, and deal AoE hits when he is Bernie? Sweet, it's in here. And do you want her original lighter back? You can configure it that way. It's small, simple, and not overpowered. It's good stuff. But before we get to pure speculation, do you know what and who isn't good in all this? Willow herself and her backstory. No, seriously, folks, I think people forget that while her orphanage caregivers were portrayed as somewhat terrible people, Willow still straight up murdered them by fire. Like, brutally, and she didn't even give a damn about it either, and she's a child here no less. Fast forward years later and she plots to set fire to an entire historical library with seemingly no hesitation, while also having no problem working with the maniacal Maxwell and the powers therein, or truly knowing whether or not people were actually inside said building. Listen, she is not a good egg, everybody. She snapped, and she's scary now. So then, how do you go about making her skill trees reflect all of that? Nah, I kid. I can think of a few things, everyone. Just maybe not as easily as the previous Walter video, because that all came down to merit badges. Willow comes down to this. And I guess a teddy bear, of course, but I don't have a bear to show you, and there's not a Bernie on this shirt, believe it or not, so yeah. But listen, everyone, even though I myself have absolutely added to this very conversation because of this video, right bloody here, I'll admit that, yeah, Willow doesn't have too much to work with, but I kind of liked that about her back when the refreshes were first starting. But now that we're almost in like a second refresh mode, which I am still not 100% backing right now, we have to acknowledge that with every skill tree so far, we're 4 for 4, it's been straight buffs. So that is our foundation. With that in mind, what do they do for Willow? Some simple, some not. The most straightforward, Bernie buffs. How can you not, right? Give the guy maybe a little more resistance, a health regeneration, make his, well, damage be AoE damage because he's always surrounded. Maybe have more than one Bernie. Like if some of the skill trees allow you to have 2 big Bernies at one time, like that'd be kind of interesting. We can have multiple Bernies out at one time, all doing their own thing, so it's not like that's too far-fetched. But yeah, that tree, all day long, baby. Then you got all that temperature nonsense, everyone, which is by far the second simplest thing to discuss because you got all these drains on both sides, right? Just make skills that either lessen those or get rid of them completely. Right? Because one perk we didn't actually discuss in that little guide there was that Willow actually freezes faster from ice hits. So like Deer Clops, Ice Hounds, yada yada. You don't see it very often, but there could be a perk along those lines too that just prevent that. There's gonna be a Willow lighter tree and or a set of skills that probably makes it last longer. Maybe the final perk in that will make it the original infinitely lasting one, and maybe the radius will increase. I don't know, you can have fun with that. The sanity regeneration effect is a little buff too, maybe. And finally, just Willow and her fire synergies themselves, right? She already has fire immunity. So it's not like you can do anything with that. But, we have been in the constant for a very long time. Willow, kind of relatively new to it, but with her connection, already established by the way, to the shadows, maybe she's going to be one that doesn't have a lunar affinity tree, and she can split into 2 different ones here and there, and she can have fire magic. What if finally, after all these years, we get a somewhat magic user just in a very workaround way? Maybe she's able to absorb energy from the fire and make sure she doesn't cool down as quickly and can start shooting fire here and there. I know it sounds stupid, but it's potential, right? That's what these videos are for. Speculation. I mean, again, we don't have that much to work with, people. And funny enough, even though we were just talking about how Walter is going to be like the perfect skill tree character, which he will be, I think Willow's going to be the epitome of just 100% buffs across the board, and no one's going to complain. No one will complain. Probably only this guy, because I was the one that put her at the top of the refresh skill list tier tree, right? So, skill list. I don't know what I'm going on about anymore. These are just ramblings, but that's kind of the whole point. If you guys have thoughts, share them below, because, gotta be honest, kind of already done. She's straightforward, our speculation is straightforward, and I feel like both of those things are going to intersect in a lot of different ways, and there's only going to be 1 or 2 surprises, and I'm happy for those surprises. We'll see if we get them. I don't think it's going to be the next update. I think it's going to be the update after From Beyond Part 3, but we'll see. Probably even like tomorrow. But thanks for watching, folks. Well wishes to all. Please let me know how wrong I am in the comments, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye.